Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel from I'm a Teacher. Today I'm going to show you a really cool 2-ingredient protein candy that you can make. It only takes chickpeas and some chocolate. So the original recipe calls for 2 cans of chickpeas, about the 10.5-ounce cans, and a cup of chocolate. It didn't really specify. I had some Nestle Toll House, and I only had 1 can of chickpeas, so I actually put this recipe in my recipe builder, and I only made half of it. So for this recipe, I actually made 12 of these. They equal out in the My WW recipe builder to be about 2 points each. They're super yummy. I hope you really like them. It's really, really easy to make. As soon as I saw this recipe, which I actually found on Instagram, I just happened to be in the discovery section and found them. I tagged my girl Miranda here on Running Away with Life, and I'm like, oh, you have to try these because she is obsessed with chickpeas and she got me obsessed with chickpeas. So I will link the original recipe down below, but of course, remember, as you see me making this, I only made half of the recipe. If you make the full recipe, you should be able to get about 24 pieces. But of course, please put this in your recipe builder and adjust it according to how big or how small you make these. I hope that you really enjoy them. So good. Let's get to the recipe. The recipe starts with preheating your oven to 350 degrees. Over here, I have emptied my chickpeas. Once again, I am putting this recipe at a half mark here, so I'm only doing 1 can. I simply put them into my colander and I actually rinse them. It didn't mention that, but I did. Also, I do want to point this out. When you often do recipes with chickpeas, you kind of have to pinch them a little bit and get this like little film off. I actually am going to do that. So let me show you. See how I pinched it and this came off? Once again, it didn't call for it in the recipe, but I'm going to because anytime I've roasted chickpeas or done a recipe, they ask you to do that. So step 1, preheat your oven. Step 2, rinse them. Step 3, try to get that film off if you can. I think you'll have better results. I have completely just taken off those little pieces, and now the next step is just to put them on a pan to roast. I am simply using this really small pan because I'm only doing half of the recipe. I did line it with parchment paper. That is my suggestion. Anytime I have ever roasted chickpeas, that is what I do. Now, for your time, you were to roast these on 350 for about 50 to 55 minutes. It's like around what the original recipe says. I would suggest when roasting chickpeas, just to keep an eye on them. I generally like to roast chickpeas with half the amount of time, and then I go back and check them and then give them a little bit more time. Just keep an eye on them, especially if this is your first time roasting chickpeas. It is always easier, of course, to go back and add a little bit more time than it is to have burned ones and there's no, no turning back. Anyway, I'm going to put these in the oven over here for about 25 minutes. Then I will check them, of course. I'm going to put them on the top rack and I'll check them in about 25 minutes and I'll keep you updated when they're finished, give you about how much time it takes me to make these. And once again, don't forget, I'm only making half the recipe. I just pulled these out of the oven. They did take 55 minutes to get crunchy. Notice they're not burned, but just kind of crunchy. And I'm going to transfer these to the same bowl that I actually used earlier. Next, I'm going to add my chocolate chips to them while they are still hot. And I'm going to stir. Okay, this is the desired consistency. As you can see, they're coated and quite like in a melted state. I now have a piece of parchment paper on my cookie sheet, and you're simply just going to drop them by like the tablespoonful onto your pan as big as you want them. And of course, if you're doing points or calories, you'll want to put these in a calculator and kind of, figure out how many serving sizes you get. But I'm doing this with my left hand, but basically little clumps like that. And I'm just going to fill this whole thing up, show you how many I get out of this batch here. And I'll show you what they look like once they set. All right, this is what they look like while they're sitting out here. They're going to set. Don't forget to lick the bowl clean. Don't waste this chocolate, girl. All right, it's all set. Here is the finished product. Super yum. Thanks for watching. I hope that you make these. If you do, please tag me on Instagram or send a comment down below. I'm a teacher on Instagram, and of course, I'm a teacher here. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.